Mike, we'll start with the obvious question. What's the latest on your future? Are you surprised that it's not been resolved this week?
We had a discussion last week and we're still talking about the situation. But it's really irrelevant as far as I'm concerned, from the point of view that it's still all about preparing this team to play in the Premier League. So, those discussions will carry on. It's not that it's ended; they are still open. So we just focus on the game.
Do you expect it to be resolved?
Yeah, I hope so. I've been sat in this chair now for a number of weeks. The team is doing well. The players are performing to the best of their abilities. We've now added to that group of players, so I'm looking forward to the challenge ahead. And why wouldn't I want to be sitting in this chair a little bit more often?
You managed to guide the team into a Champions League place with 13 fit senior players. So what can we expect now you've got your new signings in?
Well, what it's given us now is that little bit of belief that we can build on the start we've had. I think it's important that we get those players on board quickly that have just joined us, that they train with the players and they look forward to what will be a very, very difficult season for us. We've now got a squad which we feel is going to be competitive. Obviously there's a little bit more selection issues now as far as that goes, but blending them in quickly will be important. The game comes a little bit quick for some of them after the international break, but they'll be ready for the future weeks.
You brought your club's record signing in Ryan Mason. Will he play this weekend?
Ryan Mason will be involved, yeah. He will be involved in the whole group, as will many of the others. We have to now bed them in, like I said. The game is quickly upon us, but we have tricky games ahead, so training's important and then the performances are important. So yeah, he will figure at some point in the game.
Have you spoken to your new striker, Will Keane, to get the lowdown on what's happening at Burnley from his brother Michael?
Well, he's looking forward to the challenge because I think his record's pretty good against his brother, or he keeps reminding me of that. But he's keen, pardon the pun, but he's very keen to get going. His career has stalled a little bit, but he's now joined this football club because he wants to play football and he wants to be part of some success that we can hopefully give him. So he's looking forward to it.
You played for Burnley. Is this an extra special game for you?
No more special than it always is. I enjoy every game that I'm involved in. The preparation's important. Being now on the other side of it where you have to make decisions, that's also important, be it Burnley or anywhere else. Yes, my family background is from that area, but we have to put that to one side. It's never been a happy hunting ground for Hull in the past, so we need to try and make amends for that.
Being shortlisted for the Manager of the Month, what would it mean for you and for the club if you were to win that?
Well, I think it would be a terrific achievement, simply because of the circumstances that we've had to deal with. But I think it would be a compliment not just to myself, but to the staff that have worked hard, and also to the players that have produced the form that they've produced. They've stuck together. It's been tricky. Now they've got reinforcements. But it would be an honour really, and a pleasure to accept something like that on behalf of the football club.
The Manchester derby this weekend, something you've been involved in many times during your time at Old Trafford. Can you tell us about some of your experiences and just what the game means?
Well, normally in a game of that magnitude, and it has come early actually in the season, it's two great teams going head to head. The atmosphere is built up throughout the week. As we can see this time, it's probably been built up more about the two managers rather than the two teams. But I think it's got a good feel to it, this one. There's two contrasting styles, two different managers and the way they go about the jobs. I just hope it's one of those classic games where there's plenty of action, plenty of goals, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of action off the field as well as on the field. It seems to be they come across each other many times before, the two managers. But I think also the game needs to be a spectacle just for the beauty of the Premier League.
Sir Alex, how did he approach these games?
Just like any other game, from the point of view of selection, training, attitude to games. But obviously you want that little bit of pride to stand out, and there is a lot for the supporters, but it's at Old Trafford. It'll be a great atmosphere, and I think it will be an interesting encounter.
Do you expect United to win?
I would never rule United out. I think they are performing, really, really well, as we found out last week. They've now got that devil in their eye again. They go all the way, 96 minutes, can score a goal any time, and they've got the players with capability, as have Manchester City, even though they're out, with Aguero not being fit. But the replacement is special as well. So it will be interesting just to see how that pans out.
Are all your new signings available this weekend, Mike?
Yes, they're all available, and we've got a full complement of a squad to take with us. So we'll be ready for the challenge ahead.
Would you confirm that David Marshall comes straight in?
I'm not confirming anything. We have selection problems now, but I think the players in the main that have got us to where we are now have done really, really well. So it would be wrong of me to automatically dismiss them.
What's your injury situation looking like?
Well, we're improving. Michael Dawson's back on the grass. He's back doing some running work and some ball work. So he's pushing on now. I think there's a little bit still to do, but he's back out there, which is refreshing to see. And I think he's enjoying being back out there now. We have Alan McGregor, who's slowly increasing his work, which is going to be probably a little bit longer than we thought. Alex Bruce, Alex and Moses are out of their braces that they've had on for numerous weeks, so they're feeling a little bit more freer now. They're moving around the place a bit better, but they're still a long way away.
How's the bell after being on international duty this week?
I don't know, I haven't seen him yet. He's only just come back this morning. He flew in last night. We'll assess a bell in the morning during training, and let's see where we're at with him. But normally he comes back from those internationals in good form, in good spirit, so we expect the same.
Yes, so you wouldn't have any hesitation in starting him tomorrow?
No hesitation at all. If he's ready and willing, and he's had a good flight and a good sleep on the flight, then there should be no issues.
Back to deadline day, how did you find it as a day?
Busy, hectic, quite enthralling at times. I think it was sort of an early 6:30 start, and I think I got away about 12:30 when it all concluded. But it was quite a good day. The deals start early and they finish late. It just seems to go on and on. But you've got a juggling act to do as well. You try and get the targets you want. Sometimes you're disappointed in that. Sometimes you've got the enthusiasm to pursue it all the way through, as we did with Mbakani. That started early and finished really late. But we managed to get the work that we needed to do and get that done and get it over the line. And the owner did really, really well in achieving those goals.
Yeah. And what about this game at Burnley? How do you see the task ahead?
Well, the game at Burnley now is, it could be said to be a big game. We've started well. I don't consider us favourites. I think Burnley won the championship last year and we finished fourth. So I don't think it's a game we should be worried about. I think it's a game we should enjoy. We're in good form. We're in good spirits. We have now got places that are going to be challenged on the football field, so hopefully we'll rise to the occasion. As I've said before, we haven't had the greatest of records against Burnley at Burnley, so we need to try and get a result, and that's what we'll be intending to do.
It's been mentioned this week that you played in the game for Burnley against Hull City back in 1984 at the end of the season. It's one of the most notorious games for this football club anyway. Do you remember that game?
No, I don't know. No, I can't remember yesterday, let alone 1984. No, I don't remember that. I remember playing at Hull, but I can't remember the details of the games.
Okay. Burnley signed Jeff Hendrick in the window. Was that a player you were in for?
I think he was a player a few Premier League clubs were in for. We talked about him. Yes, he was on our sort of scouting network. But he chose to go to Burnley. That's what footballers do, and I think he had a tough game midweek for Ireland. But we've got good players here, and the ones we've chosen to come into this football club are all keen to play for this football club. They're all keen to enhance their careers. I don't think any of the players that have come here have had their careers sort of the twilight of their careers. I think it's mainly now that they want to push on, they want to achieve something. So we've given them that platform, and we hope that they can recreate some good times here.
Mike, I was just wondering, the last time we spoke before the international break, you were hoping that this would all be sorted out, your own managerial future as far as you were concerned. Is there now just a little element of frustration with what's happened?
It's easy to say yes to that, but really you've got to remain focused on what your job is, and my job has always been to prepare this club, this football team for the next game. That hasn't changed. The only thing that has altered is the fact that I've sat down and spoke with the owner, and we haven't come to any conclusion yet. But what was good was the fact that we have sat down. So we are making progress, and that's reassuring from my point of view. And the players have also expressed their desire for me to be in charge, which is nice. Hopefully they think it's nice if it does happen. And we just move on. We move on to the next game. Hopefully we'll sit down again and try and out these small issues.
Yeah, there does seem to be a lot of love for you, but does it depend on the owner and who the owner is? Is it because of this takeover situation?
Well, there's always been that situation, and that's been, you know, part of what you had to deal with as sitting this side of the fence. Right now, you know, we have one owner. I'm not sure what the situation is going forward as to who's coming in to take over the club or not coming in to take over the club, but I can't really get involved in that. If you want answers to those sorts of questions, then you need to speak to the present ownership of the football club, and I'm sure the press guys here will answer those questions for you. But for me, it's all about maintaining the focus with the football players and making sure that they're not distracted by anything that's out there that they don't need to be distracted by. So we play football. I try and pick the team to win, and hopefully I can do that.
Because your representatives issued that statement yesterday regarding these talks, and you say you want to sit in that chair a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Is there any concern though that commitment, that 100% commitment you've got right now, that could waver?
Well, there shouldn't be anything like that, because all we've done is sat down once and spoken about the possibility of me becoming the manager of this football club. So I don't see it as anything other than talks are in progress, you know, and nothing should change from that unless somebody else wants to change that.